Okay, we do have a quorum. I'd like to start on time. Apologize for being late at 7:04. And the board met in closed session at 6 PM this evening to discuss items that fall under the following categories that are exceptions to the Illinois Open Meeting Act. Student matters, exception C10, student discipline. Personnel matters, exception C1, specific personnel appointment. Can we have everybody please stop their conversations? We are in a meeting. Personnel matters, exception C1, specific personnel appointment, employment compensation, performance dismissals, negotiations, exception C2, collective negotiations, contracts, legal matters, exception C11, actual or threatened litigation, and closed session minutes, exception C21, review of closed session minutes. At this time, I would like to ask for a motion to go into open session.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Riddle, second by Ms. Fabian. Can we have a roll call vote, please, to go into open session?
Ms. Fabian?
Yes.
Ms. Hannah? Ms. Lensing? Mr. McBride? Ms. Ramirez? Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. We are now in open session. Principal Schaefer, would you please do us the honor of leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Please be seated.
Aspirational only. All right. Long ways to go.
Next item on the agenda, item 6, is opportunity for public comment. And we do have a sheet here. When I call your name, please come up to the podium, state your name, and you will be given 3 minutes. Are we ready, Jazz? Are we ready? Okay, there we go. Rayanne Nickerson.
I have been a proud member of our teachers union for 30 years. I have a master's degree in curriculum and instruction and a reading endorsement. I took these professional development classes to enhance my skills, knowledge, higher performance, and advancement in the salary scale. It was not for a degree, so it would not take me an entire semester to finish. One of the courses I took, Considerations for Teaching Students of Diverse Backgrounds, was chosen because that is what we have here in Waukegan. The 3 credits courses have 8 modules, each with multiple readings, multimedia, which are videos, podcasts, and a 10-question quiz after each module. Reviewing all of this material takes time. This is Module 1's reading, plus there's 29 minutes of videos. This is Module 2, but there's almost 2 hours of videos. This is Module 3. There's only 5 minutes of videos. I still have 5 more to do before I complete the class, plus a quiz after each module. I am concerned by a recent article stating that the associate superintendent completed one of these courses in 24 minutes. That's 80 quiz questions in addition to all of these readings. She must be a genius because per the article, she did not have to think deeply, write anything, or read anything. It's insulting. I don't know what Mickey Mouse 101 class she took, but it did not align with, that description does not align with the course structure or work I completed. If the district is using that description to rescind credits, you are implying that the educators who took these courses are dishonest and incompetent. Of course, it required me to think deeply. I read the material, I watched the videos, it made me reflect on my own biases, how to respond to microaggressions, and how I can approve diversity and multiculturalism in my classroom. To deny those credits after the fact is a clear breach of our contract and a deliberate insult to the professional integrity of the staff who actually engaged with the work. I can't take an 80-question quiz alone in 24 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nickerson. Ariadna Carrero y Consuelo.
Muy buenas tardes a todos.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Nosotros somos los padres de Hyde Park que venimos representando, todos los padres que estamos acá.
We are parents from Hyde Park, and we are representing all the parents.
Nosotros anteriormente ya estuvimos acá en este mismo meeting
We were here before at this meeting
sobre la propuesta de el parque de nuestra escuela.
about the park from our school.
Les pedimos que cambiaran las escaleras.
We
Las-
ask you to remove or change the stairs.
La escalera sí se cambió
The stairs was changed,
y fue puesta, pero lamentablemente
and it was placed, but
no fue
Unfortunately.
reemplazada bien, correctamente.
it was not changed correctly.
Y toda está floja y peligroso para todos nuestros niños.
It moves, and it's very dangerous for all our kids.
La razón de que ellos quedó floja,
The reason that is moving,
si nos los permiten, les traemos unas fotos para que los vean.
we
por favor.
have pictures so you can see where I'm talking about. Sigue.
Sí, muchísimas gracias. Esperemos que lo
Uh,
arregle.
thank you very much. I really hope that you can see it and can be fixed.
Ya los tienes. Ok. Sí, ya se los. Ok, eso es todo. Muchas gracias.
That's all we
apreciamos
can, and really appreciate your time.
con lo que hagan por nuestra escuelita
And please do something for our
y
school.
nuestra
Okay,
comunidad.
gracias, señora.
Muchas gracias.
Okay, Argelia Gómez.
Buenas tardes a todos.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Mi nombre es Argelia Gómez.
I am Argelia Gomez.
Soy la mamá de Yacira Espinosa,
I am the mother of Yacir Espinosa,
un senior que pronto se graduará.
a senior that will graduate soon.
Y mi motivo de esta presencia el día de hoy
The reason that I'm here today
es para preguntarles
is to ask you
por qué la mesa directiva
why the board
no avisó a los padres que iban a cambiar el currículo y deshacerse del GPA.
didn't inform the parents that you were going to change the curriculum and don't have a GPA.
¿Y por qué fue este cambio
Why was this change
y en qué les afectaba?
and how was affected?
Para mí esto es muy injusto
To me, was very unfair
porque los niños
because the students
le han puesto todo su tiempo y su esfuerzo para tener y lograr sus mejores calificaciones,
have give a great effort to have and have good grades,
como para que no sean reconocidos
so
como
they
se ha
can be
hecho antes.
recognized as they were recognized before.
Como la tradición que siempre han hecho
As the
en
tradition
las
has always
graduaciones.
said in graduation,
Y les pido que por favor
I ask you to please
consideren este cambio.
consider this change.
Pido que sea justo
I ask you be fair.
en caso de que no se pueda hacer ese cambio,
Just in case you cannot make that change,
en que todos los alumnos estén abajo,
that all the students are below grade level,
porque no sería justo
because it wouldn't be fair.
que los 3 alumnos que van a estar arriba
The 3 students that are going to be arriba de donde, señora?
On the stage.
To be on the stage,
y me refiero a la presidenta,
and I'm talking about the
a la
president,
vicepresidenta
presidents and vice
y a la
president.
RC.
And ¿qué es el?
Es la
And RC, I'm
comandante.
asking what's RC. Sorry. Oh, the regiment commander. Thank you. Okay.
Sí, porque no sería justo esto
It
que
wouldn't
ellos
be fair.
permanecieran arriba,
They will be up there
porque los niños se esforzaron 4 años para tener las mejores calificaciones y ser reconocidos,
because the
Durante la
students
graduación.
work hard for 4 years so they can be recognized during graduation.
y por eso he venido acá
And
a
that's what I'm
pedirles
here
que
to ask you to
reconsideren
please
este
reconsider
cambio,
this change,
porque los niños
because
se
the
esfuerzan
students
mucho
make the
y lo
great
digo
effort,
principalmente
and I said especially
por mi hijo,
for my son.
que siempre se esforzaba
He
tanto,
always make a great
desvelándose
effort that
mucho
he will go to sleep really, really late
para cumplir con
so he
todo.
could have all his work done.
Por favor, considérenlo.
Please
No
consider
decepcionen a
this.
los niños.
Don't disappoint the students.
Ustedes son los principales para apoyarlos.
You are the main ones to support them.
Espero su respuesta correcta.
I hope that you give the right answer.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias, señora Gomez.
Can I just clarify a translation real quick? She did not state below grade level. She was stating below off of the
Off the
stage.
stage, right.
Oh, sorry. Señora, usted quería decir que no está aclarando que yo dije mal, que no se refería a malos grados, sino que no iban a estar abajo de la plataforma. A eso se refería. Yes.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Gracias. Yasir Espinosa? That's you. I know you.
Hello,
Welcome.
Hello, Mr. Rodriguez. I am Mr. Espinoza. I am the senior. That is my mother. I don't know where she went. Yes, I am the senior, and I'm really dumbstruck as to like why you guys made that choice and why it wasn't necessarily like there wasn't an explanation as to why you guys did it. I'm really trying to figure out and trying to wrap my head around why other positions that like the senior. What she meant was the class presidents, the class president and the vice president and the RC.
Right.
They have a position up in the stage, and I feel like we're being really invalidated by the top 10 that aren't up there with them. And even though I understand, like, you guys try to mention it to another parent over here, that it was because of, like, making some students feel bad and some, like, feel like they weren't, like, doing as much. I don't feel like that's much of an intimidation because, like, it's obviously trying to, like, establish a competition. I feel like the summa cum laude and, like, that ranking, the Latin one, isn't necessarily representative of, like, everybody that's, like, obviously, like, trying to do something. Because a 4.8 is much different from what I would have, which is a 5 point something. And to me, it's just, it feels very like, I feel like I'm being reduced of like what I actually have tried to, like what I've accomplished basically. And I want to like understand where you guys are coming from and why you guys didn't necessarily try to explain the policy as much or as well as you guys did.
Right.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Thank you. Luz Granda?
Buenas noches a todos.
Good evening, everybody.
Gracias por la oportunidad que nos da para expresar.
Thank you for the opportunity that you give us to express ourselves.
Creo que ya ustedes leyeron el email.
I think you all saw my email.
Se les envió a todos ustedes, incluidos los administradores de la high school.
It was sent to all of you, including the administrators of the high schools.
Sé que cambiaron la póliza, quitaron los rangos.
I know you changed the policy and changed the ranks.
Muchos padres no estuvimos de acuerdo.
Many of us parents didn't agree to it.
Creo que la mayor parte del tiempo en este distrito los padres somos ignorados.
I think most of the part in this district, parents are ignored.
Y yo los veo a ustedes, la gente confió en ustedes.
And I see you as people trusted you.
Ustedes como representantes de nosotros.
You are as our representatives.
Y no confiamos en ustedes para que nos ignoren.
And we don't trust in you so you can ignore us.
Si yo traigo una petición, yo traigo algo que yo quiero aportar, creo que lo razonable es que ustedes no ignoren.
If I have a petition, if I have something that I can give or support, there is something that you should not ignore it.
Sí, hoy a las 5, me parece que 5:30 nos respondió la superintendente.
Today, about 5:30, the superintendent answered us.
Nos explicó que ya no existen los rangos y que no va a
She
haber,
explained to us that there is no more ranks.
no va a haber ningún estudiante sentado arriba.
There will be no students sitting up in the stage.
Pero en esa parte hay dos partes que yo no comprendí, ni tampoco los padres.
And in that,
Sí, en la respuesta
in the
que dio
answer
hay
that
dos
she gave-
palabras que no
that she gave me,
comprendemos.
there are two things that we don't understand,
Y sí queremos aclaración.
and we want to be clarified on that.
Además de la aclaración,
Besides the clarification,
los padres que estamos aquí,
the parents that we are here,
incluidos los estudiantes,
and the students too,
necesitamos que nos explique bien el principal,
we need you really a clear explanation. The principal,
cómo va a ser ahora la graduación.
how is the graduation is going to be this year.
Y también sé que ustedes están hablando mucho de la inclusión.
And I know you're talking about inclusion.
Entonces, si ustedes quieren que los estudiantes se sientan todos incluidos,
If you want all the students to feel included,
creo que ningún estudiante debe de estar arriba.
I don't think that
Sí.
if that's the case, then no student should be up in the stage.
El día de la graduación, si hay estudiantes que van a ir a decir unas palabras o van a ir a decir el himno, que
At the graduation time, there are students that are going to be say some words or they're going to sing a hymn. Dijo?
el himno nacional,
Yeah,
que pasen
the national anthem.
Que
Yeah, they can go,
y que bajen,
but
y
calm
que se
down
sienten con los demás.
and sit with the rest of the students.
Eso se llama incluir a todos, que
That's
todos se
called
sientan igual.
including everybody, that
Nadie
everybody
debe
will
de
feel the
estar
same
allá
thing.
arriba. Si
No,
ustedes decidieron
if you decided that, then
quitar a los 10 mejores
to
estudiantes,
take all the students, the 10 best students not up there,
no pongan a nadie en arriba,
then students shouldn't be up there
porque no es correcto.
because that's not right.
Y por favor, sí me gustaría hablar que el principal nos junte y nos
And I
explique
really would like that the principal get us together
cómo va a ser la graduación este año
and explain to us how the graduation is going to be this year.
y que también la superintendente me explique qué significan dos palabras que yo no entendí de su email.
And this is for you. And the superintendent has to explain two words in that message that I didn't understand.
Gracias.
Ella le va a hablar.
Gracias, señora Granda. Javier Granda.
Hello, good evening. My name is Javier Granda. I am a senior at Joaquin High School. I know many of you, and many of you guys know me. I'm here with a similar issue. about the graduation ceremony and the top 10 sitting on the stage. The main reason the superintendent pointed out during her email was due to policy 5212. I looked at policy 5212 that mentions about how they remove the rank system, but it never mentions anything about the graduation ceremony or any of the traditions that go along with it. It also mentions how the summa cum laude system replaces it, but it's not a full fix for it. I also looked at policy 5303, which talks about the graduation ceremony. That explains how students can graduate in 3 years, 3.5 years, and 4 years as customary. And during the 4-year ceremony, it mentions what kids can graduate, but doesn't mention what traditions can be followed. So I feel like it is fair for students to follow the traditions and the administration to follow the traditions we've had of either putting all the top 10 plus all the speakers on the stage or removing every student from the stage and leaving no one up there and just having people rotate in and out as they want to speak. So that is my main concern for today. And yeah, overall, either way would work. And from my knowledge, even with the summa cum laude system we have, there isn't many students that have the highest cum laude system, which is summa cum laude. So I feel like we could work something out with that as well to have those kids on the stage. Since to my knowledge, knowing many of the top students, I believe it's only like 11 of us, which is just one more than the 10, which I feel like we could put all 11 on the stage still. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Granda. Okay, Ceci Mendoza.
So I'm here for the same reason. My son, Jose Mendoza, couldn't make it because he's playing baseball for the Waukegan High School, and they had a game today. I'm just going to read the email I wrote earlier and see if nobody received it or did not reply. I'm just going to repeat what I wrote. I said, I am writing to express my agreement with the concerns raised by another parent regarding the recent changes to graduation traditions, as well as to share my own deep disappointment with this decision. Like many families, I am struggling to understand why long-standing traditions that recognize students' hard work and achievement are being removed. For years, students have worked towards goals such as class ranking and high GPA honors, as well as recognition given during graduations. These were not just titles, they were meaningful acknowledgments of years of dedication, discipline, and sacrifice. While I understand the intention of promoting fairness and inclusivity, this change feels disheartening and unfair to students who have spent the last 4 years striving for excellence with the expectation of their effort to be recognized. My child, along with many others, have worked incredibly hard to achieve a high level, and it's upsetting to see those accomplishments minimized. I also share the concerns about changing to graduation traditions, including how students are recognized during the ceremony. These traditions have been important milestones for students and families, and removing them now take away from what should be a proud and memorable moment. I respectfully but strongly urge the school to reconsider these decisions or to implement alternative ways to meaningfully recognize students who have demonstrated exceptional academic achievement. These students deserve acknowledgement and reflect the effort they have put in over the years. Additionally, I would appreciate the opportunity to discuss this matter further. It is clear that many parents share these concerns, and I believe a meeting or forum would allow families to voice their prospect and better understand the reasoning behind these changes. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Mendoza.
Thank you.
Randy Sabecki.
Good afternoon or evening. So my question is, I want to know about this. I wasn't able to make it to the last couple meetings dealing with family issues. But with this teacher's grievance, it's pretty funny. Each and every one of you sat up here when it came to the superintendent's contract and voted for it, even though you were not on the board at the time, because that was part of her contract, about the bonuses and everything else. These teachers did everything the right way. They went through, they were always approved, They made sure they were part of it. They said yes, they took these classes, paid out of their pockets, did the coursework, and now all of a sudden, now we don't want to pay them for what they did. So each and every one of you that allows this to go through is a hypocrite. And I'm going to say it straight out. When it came to the superintendent's contract, that was your exact explanation, because it was in part of the contract. So we have to abide by it. Each one of them did that same thing. So let me ask each one of you a question. How does a teacher retire from the district in 2021, rehired in the district at Oakdale, and make $7,000 to $10,000 more than when she retired? Same thing with the superintendent's contract. We want to talk about contracts. Part of her contract was she was going to have her doctor's degree after a year. We're on year 10, still no doctor's degree. But her stuff's always approved. We keep paying her more, we keep giving her bonuses, and the grades have not changed in 10 years. We stated this before. It's time for a change in this district. These teachers are owed what they did from this board, whether it's going to cost the district more money or not. They did it the right way. It was approved. They took the classes, and now you guys are saying, no, now we're not going to pay you. It's wrong, because that same thing happened with the superintendent. And you guys, every one of your explanation was, well, it was part of the contract. Even though we don't agree with it, it was part of the contract at that time. That's all I have tonight. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Sabecki. Item 7, purchases and contracts. A, approval of bid for Lewis Middle School Kitchen Project, Caitlin's Kitchen.
It is the recommendation that the Board of Education authorizes superintendent to accept the low, responsible, and responsive bid for the Lewis Middle School Kitchen Project from Crimson Design and Construction, LLC, located at 528 West Fifth Avenue in Naperville, Illinois, with a bid of $302,235.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Mr. Riddle, second by Ms. Fabian. Any discussion on the motion?
I just have a
Ms.
question.
Hannah.
Is this the original individuals that were going to do this project? So it is.
Do you mean Caitlin's family, or do you mean the contract?
No, the contract.
Okay.
Mr. Moten?
Good evenings, members of the board, staff, and community. To answer your question, Ms. Hannon, yes, this was the original group presented, but we did do a bid process and they bid on the work.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes. Mr. Moten, I just wanted to check the numbers there. I see that this is like 37,000 more than the district allocation was 161,324, and the donation was 103,625, so that's 264,949. Could you just tell me, and what we're asking here for 302,000, so there's a $37,000 difference there roughly. Is that just because costs are going up a little bit?
So the numbers that you referenced, Mr. Riddle, are the proposed total project budget for the project. The $302,000 that we're asking for approval this evening is the bid that was submitted by the construction company for this work, the $302,235. So that is their bid, but our proposed project budget is the $330,000.
And you had more bids?
Just two, right?
Yeah, so there were 2 bids received, and that information is included in the packet. They were the low responsible bidder.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah.
Okay, can I have a roll call vote, please?
Thank you.
Ms. Fabian?
I look forward to seeing the completion. Yes.
Ms. Hannah?
I pass.
Ms. Lensing?
Yes.
Mr. McBride?
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez? Mr. Riddle?
Yes, and I
Pres-
also look forward to this completion of the Caitlin's Kitchen.
President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. Item 8, personnel items. A, personnel items for 4/14/26.
It is the recommendation that the Board of Education accept the administration's recommendation to approve the appointments, retirement, extensions, and accept the resignations and terminations as found on schedules F1002, G660, T317, and L949.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Mr. Riddle.
Second.
We have a second?
Yeah.
Second.
Second by Ms.
Fabian.
Okay. Thank you. Any discussion on the motion?
Yeah, I just want to say that I am so, I'm really disappointed to see many of our diverse learner teachers that are resigning, and to me that signals that something possibly needs to be evaluated about what's going on in the diverse learner department, because that's a lot of teachers out of that department, and that is a very vital department for our students that have IEPs, 504s, and other categories, if you will. It's a lot, and my concern, how are we going to, if we're going to replace those individuals? And if not, will we be in compliance with IEPs, 504s, according to the law? So I'm really concerned about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah. We have a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
Ms. Lensing.
Pass.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez. Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
President Rodriguez.
Yes, motion carries.
I don't think you responded. Did you? Okay. Did you pass?
Yeah, I did. I
Okay.
will.
Okay, item 8B.
It is recommended that the Board of Education deny at Step 3 grievance number 2026-08 filed by the Teachers Union and authorize the district superintendent as board secretary to notify the union president of this decision in writing within 10 school business days of this decision.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion approved by Mr. Riddle, second by
Second.
Ms. Fabian. Any discussion on the motion?
We got a lot of work to do with this.
Yep.
And
Okay, can we have a
I'm
roll call?
billing.
Roll call
Ms.
vote, please.
Fabian.
Yes.
Ms. Hannah.
No.
Ms. Lensing.
For reasons discussed in closed session, yes.
Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez. Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
President Rodriguez.
Yes, motion carries.
I'd like to read a statement at this time on behalf of the District 60 and Board of Education. The district is currently involved in a dispute over whether certain coursework submitted by nearly 100 teachers qualify for graduate level credit toward salary increases. Under board policy and collective bargaining agreements, teachers may earn higher pay by completing graduate level coursework, a standard intended to reflect rigorous academic work typically completed over the course of a semester. This dispute centers on coursework offered by the Albion Center for Professional Development and Idaho State University affiliated program. While these offerings are associated with the university, they are self-paced, non-degree modules that can be completed in a condensed timeframe and are not part of a traditional graduate degree program. In fact, Idaho State University does not award graduate level credit toward a degree for these offerings. This is not a question of whether professional development occurred, but whether it meets the specific graduate level standard required for a salary advancement under the teacher's contract. The review began after the district identified an unusual pattern in the volume and pace of credit submissions, prompting further examination. In a typical graduate program, earning a comparable number of credits would take months or even years of sustained academic work. In this case, some teachers submitted 45 or more credit hours within just a few semesters, a volume that exceeds what a typical full-time college student would complete, let alone what would be expected while working full-time. As part of the district review, an administrator enrolled and completed a module submitted for graduate credit, including the post-course assessment in less than 1 hour. This raised additional concerns about the level of rigor. This issue involves approximately 99 teachers, 97 of whom have advanced degrees and are familiar with the expectations of graduate study. While there may have been past instances where similar credits were accepted, the district has a responsibility to ensure that all compensations decisions align with the contract's requirement, not with past inconsistencies. The district's position is that the coursework in question does not meet the standard of graduate level work required under board policy and the collective bargaining agreement. The union position, as outlined in the grievance, relies on past acceptance on similar credits rather than addressing whether the coursework itself meets the standard. The district proposed a resolution based on 2-year look-back period consistent with past practice. This proposal was not accepted, and the issue will now move forward through the established process. We value our teachers and their commitment to professional growth. It's also important to recognize that hundreds of teachers have earned graduate credit through rigorous traditional coursework. The district has a responsibility to ensure that the value of that work is not diminished by credits that do not meet the same standards. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Placencia. Item 8C, approval of a 1-year extension of the ratified paraprofessional contract from July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027.
It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the recommendations of the administration to approve the ratified contract extension with the Waukegan Paraprofessional Union and to authorize the President and Secretary of the Board of Education to sign the agreement on behalf of the Waukegan Community Unit School District Number 60 Board of Education.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Riddle.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Fabian. Any discussion on the motion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Fabian?
Yes.
Ms. Hannah?
Yes.
Ms. Lensing?
Yes.
Mr. McBride? Ms. Ramirez?
Yes.
Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. Item 9, financial reports.
It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the recommendations of the administrations to approve the ratified contract extension. Wait, no, you did not. We need to move this forward, please. Sorry. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Education ratify the first April 2026 of board bills, manual check request payments, and no national bank insurance payments for the period of March 11th, 2026 through April 7th, 2026. The accounts payable board payments for the period of March 11th, 2026 through April 7th, 2026 total $3,172,049.58. The manual check request payments for the period of March 11, 2025 through April 7, 2026 total $4,963,998.14. The Old National Bank insurance payments for the period of March 11, 2026 through April 7, 2026 total $2,827,069.13.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Mr. Riddle.
Second.
Second by Ms. Fabian. Any discussion on the motion? Roll
Yeah,
call.
I-
Ms. Hannah?
Yeah. As many of you know, I pass when we get to this item. And just to explain that, why I'm passing is because I'm not going to be approving deficit spending.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Fabian?
Yes.
Ms. Hannah?
No.
Ms. Lensing?
Pass.
Mr. McBride?
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez? Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. Item 10, student discipline matters. Who has this?
I do.
Ms. Lindsay.
Whereas following a building level investigation, student XXX597 was determined to have possessed a weapon while at school, which under the school code requires a mandatory referral for expulsion for a period of at least 1 year, unless modified by the superintendent, whose decision may be modified by the board, parentheses 105 ILCS 5/10-22.6D2. Whereas the Board of Education of Waukegan Community Unit School District Number 60 did receive and consider the principal's recommendation and the superintendent's agreement to modify the mandatory expulsion period for student XXX597 and the reasons therefore. And whereas the modification proposed is in the best interest of the district and the student, and based on a totality of the circumstances, supports the maintenance of a safe school environment, free of disruptive influences which can be a distraction to learning, while continuing to hold the student accountable for the student's conduct. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved that 1, the whereas clauses are adopted herein by reference as findings of the board. 2, the board concurs with the superintendent's modification of the mandatory minimum expulsion period to 1 day out of school suspension, the day already have been served, and an individualized safety plan. 3, the superintendent or the superintendent's designee is to notify the parents of student XXX597 in writing of the board's determination within the next 5 school business days. This resolution is effective upon approval by the board. I move that we approve the resolution as stated.
Motion by Ms. Lindsay.
Second.
Second by Mr. Riddle. Any discussion on this motion?
I just want to again reiterate that whenever we look at these modifications for student expulsion, the board is given a lot of information as to the circumstances, and I trust that each individual board member is voting for the best of the student as well as the safety of the school environment. We do not take these situations lightly.
Thank you, Ms. Lindsay. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Fabian?
Absolutely.
Ms. Hannah? Ms. Lindsay?
Yes.
Mr. McBride?
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez? Yes. Mr. Riddle?
Yes.
President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. Okay, item 11, board member time. We'll start with Ms. Fabian.
Oh, I've got a few things. Give me a second. First and foremost, there are students, our middle school students are having their concert tonight and tomorrow night at the Genesee Theater, so I will be there tomorrow. I believe it starts at 6:30. 6 o'clock, sorry. Again, at the Genesee Theater. And I would really love to see our community come out and support. Our students work very hard to put these programs together. And again, just that community support would be really great. I do want to also say, just to our administrators in the future, I understand the Genesee Theater is a beautiful theater and it's a great opportunity for our students, but if we are looking at budgets, we do have our own auditorium in which our students can perform. And so being fiscally responsible, if in the future we can start looking at moving away from contracting with outside auditorium, having the trap. And the trap has an amazing sound in there anyway. And it's been redone for that purpose, right? So again, just moving forward, if we could look at moving away from that. I will also like to remind everyone or alert everyone, we are having another foundation fundraiser on April 22nd, which is next Thursday from 5 to 8. 10% of the proceeds will be donated to foundation. And so this time we will be at Culver's in Fountain Square. Again, anyone who comes in, 10% will go back to the foundation. Foundation members will be there helping to support cleanup and delivery of food. I hope to see you all there. You can see more on our Facebook page as well. Along with that, that 10% goes towards our teachers grant and also our scholarships. We do have 4 finalists that have been notified. So pretty soon we will come back to let you all know who our 2 winners are for our scholarships. These students get $3,000 each, and we cannot continue supporting our students without the support of the community. And And on that note, I also want to remind our seniors to get that FAFSA done. That timeline is approaching really quick for graduation, and it is a graduation requirement. If you need support, I know there has been a plethora of information put out and reminders, and people you can connect with to help you fill that FAFSA out. And then just also a reminder of registration. You have 10 days left for those returning students, those of us who are not graduating, to register your student for the following year. It makes the transition easier, planning smoother. So if you could please get those done. If you do not have your parent portal information, you can reach out to your school secretary and they can hand that information to you. It's a very simple online process. And if you need support, reach out to your school. Many schools are having support nights as well. And I believe that's it for me.
Thank you. Ms. Lensing.
Okay, I got a lot. We have our Lakes Division meeting tomorrow, the 15th, so I will not be attending the middle school performances. We do have the Walk Pack performance of Mary Poppins happening this weekend. You can get tickets online for Friday evening, and there's 2 shows Saturday and Sunday, so I recommend you get those sooner rather than later. They do sell out. I want to give some kudos to our safety department. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend the event, but on Monday they did host a conflict resolution training, which I know Ms. Hannah specifically, but I believe other board members were able to attend conflict resolution with a speaker in Puerto Rico, right? Yes. And they're highly revered. So great training. Very happy that that happened. I would like us to consider as a board adding on the agenda, having a vote or a discussion around bringing back a 3rd monthly meeting. Again, when I first brought this up, it was because there's a lot of information that happens in closed session that we are, in my opinion, not really reviewing or having as full of discussions as I would like us to have, especially when they're of serious matters. So if we can get that on the next agenda for discussion, I would greatly appreciate it. I had 2 more. Oh, I understand that there's confusion and frustrations by our families and our students not being tapped into the discussion that was had back in 2024 when it came to class rank. I think communication is just an area that we really need to make sure that we're clear and we're resetting those expectations with families. So there was a request to have a town hall or a meeting just so that they can get that understanding of what we talked at the board level and what the team did the research behind that decision. I think that could be helpful for them. And then we are closing in toward the end of the school year. I hope it's a positive end to the year. I want to make sure that even though we may feel tired or it's nice outside and we get that itch to just be done with school, that we stay focused, but we stay caring with our students. So hopefully everybody has a good rest of April and May, and we have a nice smooth end to the year. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Lensing. Ms. Hannah?
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. You can hear me now, right? Okay. I have some new business that I would like to present to the board as a whole. Okay. The first one, I would like us to bring back and discuss the compensation study that was done, because it is it's very unpopular with the staff. We've lost a number of people because of the compensation study, and once we get that on the agenda to discuss, then I will go in further. The other things, I would also like us to have a conversation regarding the credits for high school graduation. it was lowered during the COVID, and it was said that it was going to be reversed after COVID. And so it's after COVID, and we need to put that, put the credits back so that our students have higher expectations. Also, I am asking that we discuss the suspension of policy 5212 for the class rankings, and we can suspend that policy by way of a vote from the Board of Education, and where we're getting input from the true stakeholders, and those are the students that are impacted. So I am asking that we look at and discuss the suspension of that policy, because our students do need to be recognized for the success that they accomplished in their 4 years. I don't know how I missed that, and to my embarrassment, I did miss it, guys. But I'm going to try and hopefully rectify that. Also, as Ms. Lindsay said, we do have the Lakes Division dinner tomorrow evening. I'm going to rely on Mr. President to tell us when. Okay? But also, I want to give kudos to our food service. They hosted the Future Chefs competition, and I was honored to be a judge for that. And I wish I had been able to get the slides of the pictures of the future chefs, because they were all elementary students. Those kids could cook. And they made sliders, they made pasta dishes, they made hamburgers, and the one that won, the chef that won, made some slap your mama cornbread. It was so good. It was really, really good. And I'm sorry that I took a lot of pictures of the event, but it was really an experience for those students, and they did an excellent job, as well as the food service, our food service that hosted the event. And I do have pictures. If anyone would like to look at them, I'll share my phone. But another thing, I did attend the de-escalation professional development. Dr. Denise Shearer, I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I met her and attended the class when I went to the ALAS conference in Puerto Rico, and I knew that if she got in our district, that she was going to make a difference with our staff. And kudos to Mr. Wilson, because his staff was there and they got the benefit of this. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to bring her back to do the full session for more than just the safety staff, because this is something, the de-escalation, it wasn't de-escalating for the students, it was de-escalation for the adults dealing with the students. And we may not think that we need that, but we really do. And we are also, students that are here, we are looking for 2 new, it's time for the student board members to change. And so if you all could get the word out to some students that we're looking for candidates to run for the student board member for next year. Okay. I have one more, but I'll leave that. But anyway, I certainly hope notes were taken, because the compensation study, credits for graduation, the suspension of policy 5212, I'm going to keep on that until we get a change. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah. Mr. McBride.
Pass.
Pass. Mr. Riddle.
Just want to be very, rather quick, because I know we have a couple meetings coming up, but I just would like to say that, the end of the year is quickly approaching. A lot of activities are happening, music festivals, and just a lot of great things coming up. I would mention that I was really happy to attend the high school tech fair last Friday. I want to give a shout out to all the staff that helped organize that. I think it's just wonderful when our high school students can get their eyes open to the possibilities of what type of jobs are available out there. There were some wonderful employers there that they could talk to, and it was exciting to see them there and doing just that. Some of them looked at even the robotics exhibit, where they saw a little pet dog that was a robotic, very cute. Anyway, I enjoyed being there, and I want to thank the staff that organized that. And I know another great event is coming up where our students have been working on like a civics showcase. It's called the Mikvah Challenge.
Yeah.
And that is coming up Friday, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And that is from 9:30 to 1:30 at the Washington campus. So that's another great opportunity to see what our students are doing, what kind of projects they've been working on. These are real world projects that they get involved with. And I think this year we have 3 or 4 other schools participating at the Bulldog campus there. So at the Washington campus. So I would encourage as many board members as possible to try to get there between 9:30 and 1:30 to see what our students are involved in. So have a great night. Thank you so much, and keep working hard, because the end of the year is quickly approaching. And the weather's just wonderful. I mean, yes, it's up and down, but get out hopefully during the day and enjoy it.
Thank you, Mr. Riddle. Ms. Ramirez.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to remind everybody, I've had the privilege of working with our FACE department, and the annual Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month celebration will be May 8th at 5:30 at Jack Benny. Make sure you come out. We have plenty of food trucks. The Lumpia lady will be there. The local boys will be there. So get some good Hawaiian food out there. So again, that's May 8th at 5:30 at Jack Benny.
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez. And just a couple of notes. The Bravo Waukegan Music Festivals, Middle School Music Festival is taking place tonight and tomorrow night at the Genesee Theater. And unfortunately, you weren't able to be there tonight because of these meetings. And some of us will be missing it again tomorrow because we have the spring dinner meeting of the Lake Division of the Illinois Association of School Boards. And that, for those who don't have that information, it's taking place at 6 p.m. tomorrow at the Doubletree Hotel in Mundelein. And I really wish that the Middle School Music Festival didn't conflict with our meetings, or that our meetings didn't conflict, because I really enjoy the music festival. Not just because I have a granddaughter and a son that are on stage for them, but I really enjoy the kids, watching them and just supporting them. Also, talking about the event that takes place on the stage at the Genesee Theater, just for the record, the school district is not the one that actually pays for that, okay? That is a Bravo Waukegan event that is paid for by their funds and also by Uline. Okay, so the school district is not paying for that. That's their decision. And I think it's a great decision if that's one of the things that they want to do for our children, is to give them the opportunity to perform on a big stage like that. I think it's really great. And, you know, maybe we can get them to rent our Trap Auditorium next time to have it. But anyway, it's a beautiful event. This Sunday, Bravo Waukegan is having their spring fundraising event. And that will take place this Sunday at noon at the Exmoor Country Club in Highland Park. I usually go to those. It's a wonderful event. And be prepared to make some donations if you're there, because that's what it's all about. They're looking for contributions. They'll have the paddle raise and you know, looking to find support for their programs, because they're really doing some great things for our students. And over the years, they've really helped a lot of our students. And as many of you know, being involved in music programs is directly correlated to success in school and in later life. So I really support these programs and want to see them continue. And with that, I just want to remind everybody that when we adjourn this meeting, and we are not going back into closed session, okay, we had a flurry of activity at the very end of our closed session, so we don't have to go back into closed session. But after we adjourn from this meeting, we still have 2 more meetings. We have the Student Achievement meeting and the Operations Services Committee meeting that we still have to get through tonight. So with that, I would like...
President,
Yes, sir.
Could I make a correction? I had said that the MICFA challenge is this Friday. It is not. It is next Friday, the 24th.
A week from Friday.
That's a week from Friday. So it's really worth attending. I'd encourage any board member that can go, but it's a week from this Friday.
Thank you for that information. And with that, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Riddle, adjourn. Second by Ms. Hannah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. We're going to take a 5-minute break before we start what is next? Student Achievement? Okay. Going to take a 5-minute break. Yes, sir. We gained one and we lost one.
Right, to Bravo. Right?
Yes,
Go to-
yes,
to
I'm
one
going.
line.
I am going. Oh,
Are you
yeah.
bringing Teresa or not?
Yes, I'm definitely bringing
And I'm bringing Joyce. Yeah.
my wife likes it. I mean,
Yeah, that's
we've been going for years, and I just pay my way, you know?
All right.
All right, we're gonna get started. Mr. Saden, how you doing, sir? I am good, thanks. Always. Good, good, good. Okay, are we ready? We do have a quorum seated, and it is 8:13. I would like to call to order the Tuesday, April 14th. Folks, we're gonna get started, please. I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, April 14th, 2026 Student Achievement Meeting. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. McBride, Mr. Riddle,
Present.
Ms. Hannah, Ms. Fabian, Ms. Lenzing, Ms. Ramirez,
Yes.
President Rodriguez.
Yes. Okay. Next item, approval of the minutes of the March 10th, 2026 meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve as amended. There was a slight technical change, and I gave that in, and so it's just it's a very simple one. So
Motion to approve the March 10th, 2026 meeting minutes as amended. Second by Ms. Lenzing. Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Ramirez,
Pass, I wasn't in attendance.
Mr. Riddle,
yes.
Mr. McBride. Yes. Ms. Hannah. Okay. Ms. Lenzing.
Yes.
Ms. Fabian
Pass, I was not in attendance.
and President Rodriguez.
Yes, motion carries, minutes are approved. Item 4, discussion items, I see none. Item 5, information for possible board action. Dr. Cesario.
Good evening, Board President, Superintendent, members of the board, colleagues, community members, and guests. Thank you. You'll see before you there are a number of items. Item A is renewal of Renaissance DNA. That item helps us to provide assessments to our students, store, collect data, and create reports. Item B is renewal of our Edmentum software, which helps us with credit recovery at the high school level.
Okay, Ms. Hannah has a question about that, Dr. Cesario.
Okay, the Edmonton, is that, okay, you said that's for credit recovery?
Yes.
Okay, is that for credit recovery for who?
Credit recovery for students that have taken courses already and that need to recover credits that they didn't capture initially.
For 9 to
Sorry,
12?
yes. Thank you for clarifying, Ms. Lansing. This is for the high school.
Okay, for the
I
high
believe it says
school.
that in there, Waukegan High School and AOEC, yes.
Okay, and so this software is not being used for credits for people to graduate, not for recovery, for students to go to AOEC and get credits to graduate.
For both, for AOEC and at the high school. To get to recover credits that they did not. Yes.
To get to
Can I-
AOC, you got it.
Okay, I'm not, okay, maybe I'm not.
And I'm wondering if what I'm going to say is maybe what you're saying. Is Edmentum courses being used in place of regular coursework for students that don't need recovery? Is
No.
that what
That's
you're asking?
what, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. No,
Because,
it's
okay,
not.
because there, as I've heard horror stories, okay, that we have had freshmen and sophomore students taking the courses at AOEC
At that
Yes,
campus.
it's an alternative.
to be able to graduate in as a freshman and a sophomore. Is that accurate?
It is if they did.
A clarification is as a, how old are we in ninth grade? At that age,
14,
complete
15.
the required credit hours to graduate and leave after ninth grade.
No,
Graduate and
no.
leave after
What-
10th grade.
It is credit towards graduation. If they failed the course during their freshman or sophomore year, then they can recover that credit through Edmentum.
I think she's talking about going to AOEC as a freshman, getting all 17 credits and graduating at
No.
the end of your
That's
freshman year.
what,
That's
thank
what
you.
she's concerned
Okay.
about.
Because there has been talk, and would you guys please make sure that that is not happening? Because it's kind of like one will do it, therefore the one has told 5 others, and so they get in trouble, where they can go to AOEC and then do that.
Can I just clarify something? AOEC is an
already
alternative
know
placement, but this is where I want to clarify, Ms. Hannah, because not all students go to AOEC because they got into trouble. And that is a narrative that, but what you just stated is they get themselves in
Okay,
trouble to
but
go
then-
there.
okay.
I want to clarify because that is the stigma that has been perpetuated over time
me,
that
I know
AOEC
about-
is that.
I was there when AOEC
So
was
if,
created.
and that's fine, but what I'm saying is the
And
perception
that's not what we're
is.
talking about.
Okay, can we have one person talking at a time?
Yes, and what I'm trying to understand, to make sure it is not happening. Because I have mentioned this to you, okay, board president, that this was happening. And if it's not happening, then that's what I want to know.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah. That is not the intent of this. The intent is to provide credit recovery for those students who
Yes.
were not successful with coursework initially.
Okay, whose hand was up next?
Oh, I'll go. So I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. So I think, Ms. Hannah, your comment was targeted to a specific population that attends AOAC. And Ms. Fabian, your clarification was just making sure that your comment was not misunderstood, that all of the students going to AOAC are for that purpose.
Correct.
Okay. Is that accurate?
I
You were
just want
speaking
to
of a
make sure.
specific population.
Yeah. Freshmen and sophomore students cannot just go to AOEC, take the Edmonton coursework, and graduate high school.
That's not the intent. No.
They can graduate.
That's not, again, I'll repeat what I said before. It is for credit recovery for those students who are not successful taking the courses initially.
So we can't, so students can graduate early, I guess is the concern. However, for you to get to AOEC, it's an alternative pathway because you were not or may not be successful in high school. So the concern is that students are not just going to AOEC to graduate early by taking Edmonton. That's the concern.
And I understand that, and I'm just making it.
But they can graduate early. There are students that go into AOEC as a freshman and do graduate early. But if they're going there, they're going with a purpose because it's an alternative route and they were not successful in traditional high school programming.
Okay.
Okay. No, I'm gonna jump in. I think the word that's kind of sending the conversation into a bit of a spiral is just the intent behind it, right? And so when we use well, it's not intended for that, that doesn't mean that it's not happening. So hold on. So I think, yes, it is possible for students to be in AOAC for a variety of reasons, and sometimes having larger class sizes is overwhelming. and they're not able to actively participate in an engaging way in one of the other campuses. So AOAC is a better fit. There's a wide variety of things. It is possible that, yes, because they are in that setting, they are able to expedite their learning. But we, I think as a whole board, but I'll specifically repeat for Ms. Hannah, are just wanting to make sure that there are not instances of, I really wish I knew how old we were. So 14 and 15-year-olds are not graduating out of high school to leave to go into the workforce or help with family or that sort of thing. That is the concern. So graduating early is possible, but not that young is the concern.
Mr. Hamilton is shaking his head no, that is not happening.
Yes, and I just want to make sure that we're not spiraling the conversation, that it's very targeted.
And unfortunately, sir, it was being done before you got to become
I don't know if that's absolutely true. I don't believe we were graduating freshmen taking courses.
Before we make that definitive statement that we check.
We definitely can. We'll check both our statements, right? Because they both sounded definitive.
I'm not going to say something that I don't know.
We'll look into it, Ms. Hannah. We'll look into it.
So who do we
Okay.
call? Roy Stevenson?
No,
What were we talking about?
wasn't going back all the way there, Jeff.
Okay, thank you. Let's go.
Yep. So that was for
Okay.
credit recovery.
right,
Next
now-
is renewal for, I guess there's a question.
Oh,
Can
on
I
Sydney,
finish?
yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. SIBME renewal.
Yep. I have concerns with the usage because looking at the active users by month, we're not breaking 200. According to what was provided to us. And that's a concern. And when I attended the ed camp, there were several teachers that did not know how to use the tool, did not feel that they had adequate resources to get to learn how to use the tool. And so my concern is that this is another thing that we're investing in. And when we had the conversation, when we first approved this, was to benefit the teachers, to streamline the process, to target and differentiate instruction and get real-time feedback for the kiddos. So if we have, and granted this is for a narrow,
It
a
is.
currently narrow population, I do see that we're expanding to elementary schools. I want to make sure the communication and training is
That's fair.
and that we are monitoring these on a monthly basis and talking to staff regularly on why aren't we using this more? It is to help you. Where can we close the gap so that this can be part of your day-to-day to free up your time?
So that's what we're working on with the principals, because this is, again, it's a site-based item that really is working through the schools. So the principals, we have Dr. Andrews and Dr. Bublitz who are working with the principals. You mentioned the elementary schools. We're starting with 5 so that we can scale them up. We brought in the principals initially. We did bring in some teachers as well. We had coaching sessions. I can have Dr. Andrews speak to it a little bit more. But again, we're building up on this. And this is something that one of the other pieces that we wanted to use SIBME is because it's a closed system. So we had people that were using, I think that's a key piece to mention.
Yeah, Notebook LM and
Say again?
I was just mentioning some of the other ones that are not closed.
Right.
Yep.
And we cannot put any student information out in an open system. This also protects the district in terms of here's a tool. If you want to use it, not every teacher is going to use it off the bat. And I think that's another piece is that I understand the piece of the usage, but that's what we're looking to increase, working with SIBME. They've been really great partners with being accommodating. We're working towards that. But again, for me, having a closed system, having the tools there and a framework for people to follow, for teachers to follow, will be much more helpful to them when they want to utilize AI. I think the scaling up the professional development is an area of needed improvement, and those are things that we're discussing currently as well. Do you want to add anything to that, or Dr. Bublitz, would you like to add anything to that?
So good evening. So the implementation last year, this year actually started just with principals, and principals started to use it to, train teachers of how to use it. So we had a slower implementation like the first couple of months of the school year. Principals are all using it. They're using it for their IoT meetings. They're using it in multiple ways. Some of the teachers have now seeing it as a value add, and so they are using that to grade assessments, get real-time feedback on how students are performing, and they're using that data just to really think about how they're grouping kids, small groups with it. But it takes time to get teachers to get acclimated to that and comfortable with that, and we're seeing growth this year, and we expect to see more growth next school year.
Okay, I guess my pushback to that is when it was presented, it was to support our teachers. So when you have a heavy focus on we want to get the principals acclimated to it, that's frustrating for me because the tool we want for the teachers. And we had Miss Lernberger from Oakdale.
Vanessa Campos.
Yes, Miss Campos came, and last time she talked about it, she was a really big advocate for it and its great uses and how they're using it in their staff meetings. So for me, there was a miscommunication because I'm expecting more teachers to be using it, not just targeting towards the principals. So if you want, in my opinion, my vote as a board member, if you want us to approve this, I need to see the usage behind it because we're not going to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into a system that's not being used. That's not fiscally responsible. That's my only feedback. I understand you're ramping up. I'm expecting this to grow.
We're expecting it to grow as well. I think it's a valid point that you're making, but I also think it's really critical that the folks who are running the schools have a strong understanding of how to use that tool so that they can model it and that they can provide coaching and support to those teachers. And so it has to start there.
Okay, Ms. Fabian and then Mr. Riddle.
So just to clarify, because what I'm looking at as the invoice is that you're only asking for 13 licenses at $9,000 plus an ongoing training. So I'm not.
On top.
The invoice that I'm looking at.
I don't have the invoice.
So when I'm looking at usage, I also want to see how many people were exposed to it, right? So how many licenses did you originally get? How many people originally had the license? Because if we didn't have 1,200 teachers get the license, it would stand to reason we wouldn't have that many people
we
on
didn't.
it.
9 times.
Really?
Right.
But
It's 13 sites, when we have more than 13 sites, right? We have, 22 schools?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what was the original, how many schools originally had it, or how many staff originally had it? Because that, to me, then, when we're looking at the data, right, if you only gave the license for 500 people and 200 people are using it, that looks better than we gave the license to, 2,000 people and only 200 are using it, right? So that's what I'm looking at, because it's just the ILT, but how many buildings? Because I'm only seeing 13 and we have 22.
Right. So we started with the middle and the high, and we started
Okay.
with the principals first and the instructional coaches. And then we rolled it out to teachers next.
So
Now,
not all
for
staff
next year-
had it
no,
last
not-
year,
not
and
all
that
s-
is why
no.
there's lower
We were
numbers of
scaling up,
usage.
And I believe that was, yeah. And so we're starting with 5.
I got that.
Elementary. Okay.
Yeah, I got that. I just want to make sure, again, numbers game, right?
Sure.
So there was 10 schools with the admin and ILT that had it, and so that is why the usage also looks low. I will say of the teachers who have used it, they really do love it, and they seem to say that it is easier and it is a time saver and it's very efficient. So I'm not really concerned about the positive effects that it has and the support that it gives our teachers. It's when we're looking at the data to see that people are actually using what we buy. So that makes more sense to me. If we only had it in 10 schools, that there would, and it was only admin and ILT, why that number would be lower.
Okay, Mr. Riddle.
Okay, so I have the same concern that some of them have. You know, we're paying $141,000 for it each year, and I know it takes time to scale up, but in layman's terms, because when I was reading through this, it looked like it's mostly video that the, you know, and when we had the description from the principal, you know, she has it looking at evaluating how she prepares her meetings, and it looks like that's the focus, and I was wondering, where would the teachers be using it other than that? Are they actually assessing students with it? How do you envision this in a year or two helping teachers with their, you know, there's so many things that they are trying to do. There's so many things that they have to do. How do you envision this working with, how does a teacher work with it? Just give me an example during the day. How is a teacher going to use this in 1 or 2 years?
Okay,
I'll give you a
I'd
great
like to
example.
just have one conversation at a time, please.
So we've uploaded our curriculum to that. So our programming. So our EM4 math, our reading, and a teacher could go in and say, I have a student who has an IEP. Here are the accommodations and modifications. I have 4 students that are ELs that speak Spanish, 2 that speak another language. How do I? And then I can also say, I have 3 students that are kinesthetic learners. 1 is a visual learner. Please help me to create a lesson that differentiates it based off of our EM4. And it'll go in and it'll do all those things for you. So
Very quick.
Video is part of it.
Yes.
It can record the conversations. It can record the classroom, what's happening, and analyze the questions that who is asking what questions, the frequency that they're going to a male or a female student. It can look at where the student or where the teacher walked during that time, if they walked at all. I mean, there's a number of different things that you could use it. So a teacher can use it for a coaching point. We can use it for IEPs to help write stronger goals. We can use it to translate lesson plans. We can use it to create rubrics. We can use it to make a modification to an assessment. So if we have a DL student who has a smaller frequency of testing items, we can do that without having a question of whether or not it has the same rigor as a student who does not have that kind of modification. So there's a number of pieces, and we really have to, I want to emphasize this because I think it's extremely important. We have to scale this up if we want to be successful.
Right.
And our principals have to understand that. So when we're talking about usage, it's incredibly important that our principals are the drivers of this, and that's why we started with them first.
Okay.
So we started smaller scale, so we weren't going full, because we want to be cognizant of the financial impact, and we want to be making sure that we're doing what we need to do, but we also want to make sure that we're providing supports to those teachers. So
thank you.
Those are some of those. Yeah,
Right, that helps me. That helps
so
me
many.
understand. Yes. And so really, the teachers are going to be using this as a tutor as well for themselves, and it's going to help them with their workload.
That's what we wanted to do, because it can also grade assessment.
Yes,
and it
and
can go. It
differentiate.
can create. It can. So if we gave the students a quiz, they can show that quiz and flip for every student, and it can grade those assessments to look at an item analysis. Here, 15 of the students out of 20 had item 8 incorrect. So we need to go back, and then it can say, well, this is what you can do as an alternate activity to help support this particular area.
Okay, that helps me. Thank you, Dr.
Sure,
Cesario.
no problem. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so you guys can stay up here. Well, Greg, you can go. The next one is for National Freshman Success Institute.
Right.
The information is there.
Right. Good.
E is renewal of iReady, which is not only a diagnostic tool to help assess our students in particular skills, but it also helps to differentiate, provide support so that they can practice various skills.
So I had sent in a question regarding this, and I did not receive a response. I'm not sure if the district is aware that the company who owns iReady is in the middle of a lawsuit because of iReady. sharing student data. So I just want to make sure that we've looked at that before we're ready to purchase this. And I know that they're still in the middle of the lawsuit. There has not been a final decision, but this is not the first time that they've had that lawsuit where they're sharing student information and analytics with outside vendors and sources.
Got it. Before you vote on this, we will, if you will, ask that question at our next board meeting, and we'll be ready to answer that then.
Can we have that information?
Prior. Oh, yeah,
I already
absolutely.
asked it in the email. I got my responses for everything but that.
I think, can I just
Can I finish?
I think because of the nature of the question and what's going on in our nation, I think it's important that we ask that again and have that answer in front for our parents, right? So we will get you the answer, but I would like to address that also at our next board meeting. So we will get you that answer. Go ahead.
So we did get, I just want to, we did get that today. And so we did look into it, and we have to follow up with Kathy. So that's what I wanted to say. We did look into it, and it is pending, as you said. We couldn't find anything
Okay, Doctor,
active.
sorry, let me interrupt you for a second. Ladies, please.
Catching up as to what was discussed for the higher ready.
Okay, thank you. Are we completed? Is that completed?
Okay. Yeah.
I've been listening to it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we'll follow up with the legal department on that one. But we were looking at it. We didn't have anything definitive by the time the meeting started. It was about 10 minutes before I started, so we couldn't get it to you yet. But we're continuing to look at that. Okay, next is renewal of Jocelyn Center partnership. This is Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 supports for social emotional. Continuing with this really good work and partnership there. G is renewal of school links. That is, again, a place where we place goals among other areas for planning for our students middle through high school. This is a really great opportunity. Attendance at Skills USA National Leadership and Skills Conference for our students. So go ahead, sorry.
So this is another one, and just for, again, the public's sake, I had asked if students are going to attend, and so there was a clarification that students will be attending. I just didn't see that here. It was mentioned in one of the slides, but there was no paperwork and there was no cost associated with the students. So that's the only reason I wanted that clarification, because they did the work and they did an outstanding job being the only one in Illinois to be recognized. I feel like obviously we should have our students attend.
Yes, the students are going, but it's a field trip for them through the school.
Okay.
And everything is covered through the school. I think
School.
that was
Okay.
followed up there for you, but
Yeah,
for-
but I just
for
wanted to let the public to
knowledge,
know that
yes,
students will be
this is-
attending and representing us.
We have to put this here because this is for our our employee travel. So that's what this cost is for. Okay. J is renewal of Instructure, which was called the Learn platform. And so this really monitors a lot of the usage of our software program throughout the district. K is the purchase of CrowdStrike, and this is managed endpoint security platform. We were one of very few schools, districts in the country selected for this pilot program, and this E-rate really covers most of it. The goal here is to replace Sophos, and most of the information's there. This is going to be much more cost effective, especially because E-rate is assisting with part of the purchase.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much. There's
You're
nothing
welcome.
under
Thank you.
item 6, presentation. I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn the student achievement meeting. Motion by
Second.
Ms. Lensing, second by Ms. Fabian. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 8:42. And next up is Operational Services Committee meeting.
Okay.
Yes.
Good night. Hello.
And
You know me. You know me. All right. I would like to call to order the Tuesday, April 14th, 2026 meeting of the Operational Services Committee. Can we have a roll call, please?
Present.
Miss Lansing. Present. Miss Hannah. Mr. McBride.
Present.
Mr. Riddle.
Present.
Ms. Ramirez. And President Rodriguez.
Here. Okay, item 3, approval of the meeting minutes. Asking for motion to approve the minutes of the March 10th, 2026 Operational Services Committee meeting.
Motion.
I'll
Motion by
second.
Ms. Lenzing, second by Mr. Riddle. Any comments, corrections, changes? Roll call vote, please.
Miss Fabian.
Pass, I was not in attendance.
Miss Lansing.
Yes.
Miss Hannah. Mr. McBride.
Yes.
Mr. Riddle.
Yes.
Ms. Ramirez.
Pass, I was not in attendance.
And President Rodriguez.
Yeah, the motion carries, minutes are approved. Item 4, discussion items for possible board action, I see none. Item 5, information items. Mr. Moten.
Good evening, members of the board, staff, and community still with us this evening. So our first information item is a staff retention report. We've provided this for your information. I would like to highlight a few things within the report, as well as ask Ms. Maluski if you have any questions regarding items in the teacher vacancy grant. I do want to inform the board that item A and item B, so the staff retention and the teacher vacancy grant update, have both been included within this presentation. All right, can we go to the,
Mr. Vukovic.
Oh, yeah.
On the retention report, it's a 5-year report. Looks wonderful, but I just wonder how accurate some of that is, because week after week, year after year, we're talking about the vacancies. We're sending people to foreign countries to bring teachers back here, and you know the numbers here, they're all in the high 90s. 90% retention over a 5-year period. Now, if I remember, we're somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200 teachers. I don't know the number anymore. Is it about 1,000? Is that how many teachers we have?
A little less than 1,000.
A little less than 1,000. Last year, in the height of the summer, when you're on your board docs, you had 140 vacancies in the teaching ranks. That's 14%. On that report, it shows one school with 100%, and there was one vacancy I know of for sure because a staff member passed away. So I'm not sure where this information came from or who put it together, but I don't think it gives an accurate reflection of the vacancies in our district. There's one school that sometimes you can have 2 or 3 vacancies at one meeting. Some vacancies, there's teachers that are here for 8 weeks and then the position is vacant. So I don't know that it's an accurate reflection of the vacancy rate of the district.
Thank you, Mr. Vukovic. And before we move on, I would like to make some comments regarding that, as well as highlight some things in the presentation that may assist. We're certainly happy to bring back the information in a different format if that would help bring a little more clarity. However, again, I want to highlight on the first 2 slides here, and there is a slight distinction because this information is pulled from the HRIS, Human Resources Information System of the district. This report is a 5-year report that goes through April 7th of 2026. that identifies voluntary separations from the district as a whole, okay? So you'll note on the current slide at the bottom, those separations include resignations and retirements from the district. So there's information in our system, and I'll give the board and the public an example. If a teacher, this report is for teachers and paraprofessionals, if a teacher transfers from one school to another but still remains in our district, then we're retaining that teacher, and that is a positive for the district. It doesn't mean that there's not a vacancy that's opened up, but we're retaining the teacher at that time within that year as a district employee. So again, we're happy to revisit how it's presented, but did want to make that distinction because on the Illinois report card, if you'll go to the next slide, please, there's a different metric where the teacher retention is a percentage of full-time teachers who return to the same school over a 3-year period. So our data in the district, which is going to be on the following slides, is if a staff member is retained in the district in any capacity, but ultimately in their job classification, that goes towards a positive for the retention rate for the district. However, they are leaving a vacancy at their school or their work assignment that they're leaving from. So we did want to make that distinction and appreciate you bringing that up because that, we thought there may be some potential confusion around that.
Well, to his point, a teacher passing away would not be recorded into these numbers, right? So we have to clarify, and anybody that was terminated would also not be included in these numbers.
Correct.
But it's part of your turnover. You've had vacancies.
Absolutely, but I think what we're looking at is how teachers feel working in the district, right? Like, unfortunately, someone passing away doesn't tell us that climate and culture of that school. But I do think that we need to revisit this because I really don't feel that these numbers are accurate when we're looking at certain schools. And I can recall that there are resignations on board docs from those schools. So if it's a resignation, from your own definition, it should be included in this number. And so I do feel like we do need to revisit that because the numbers aren't adding up for me.
Okay.
Told you.
Okay, I have 3 points.
Okay.
My first is, why would we not align our definition with the Illinois State Report Card definition? Why are we having, I understood that you said that keeping them in the district is a net positive, but if we're trying to clearly communicate, it is confusing to see numbers in the high 90s, but then see overall in the mid 80s, mid to high 80s. So why aren't we using the same definition that the Illinois State Report Card is evaluating us on?
Sure. I can help answer that. So the district ultimately wants to retain its employees. Whether or not it's at the same school, in the cases of teachers and paraprofessionals, is another story and a means of reporting for ISB, but we ultimately want to retain employees. So if they're still within our system and they don't truly exit the district or fully exit the district, that's very important to us. As was requested, we can revisit just to ensure that what we're presenting here is clear and clearly understood and has the specific categories of why individuals separate, inclusive of those additional non-voluntary items, if that would be helpful.
I think for me, like I understand the concept of keeping them in the district and moving between schools, but if we could expand that to for a period of 3 years, staying within the district to somewhat align to what ISB is saying. My second piece is that my initial read of this doesn't give me the story as to why, right? But you had said that you can come back with some rationale. I think it just highlights again, we need a better exit interview process or a current pulse of the school's culture throughout the years. I get that some people don't like to do exit interviews and be, in my opinion, direct about their experience in schools because they don't want to taint their relationship with the district overall. But I feel like we need a culture in which employees can freely express their experience at individual schools without it impacting their district reputation. And then the other component I had was, what do we do with this data? So by we, I really mean administration. So like when you see a dip of more than 10% in retention from year to year, or an increase of retention of like 12% year to year, what are you doing with that data?
So that is an excellent question, and this is actually an opportunity for our district. If you go to retention goals slide,
Yep.
Mr. White. So again, this is an opportunity for our district internally. You'll notice there's that 90% marker
Yeah.
that we're really looking to. Retention strategies, and this is one of the reasons why we highlighted the teacher vacancy grant as well as a retention strategy. That's what we're looking for, the 90% retention mark within our district for the teachers and the 75 to 80% for the paraprofessionals. So we are going to take a deeper dive into this data based on what's been presented this evening, as well as what we preliminary identified in putting this report together, just to ensure that we're targeting certain sites that have a dip, or a given year that would have a dip, which we can't redo the past. But if a site has a dip below that goal, that marker, then we need to figure out why and what's causing it.
And kudos to the principals that have made the big gains from year to year, right? Like we shouldn't use data just to like see where people need to improve, but also give them their flowers, right? Like, hey, something you did this year impacted your retention by 12%. That's amazing. And that principal needs that feedback. And then I'm kind of a liar because the fourth thing, I just want to make sure we highlight the second to last slide. Let's highlight those employees because they put in a lot of hard work to transition from being a paraprofessional to a teacher through the programs we have in place. So congratulations to these two individuals.
Go ahead, Ms. Fabian.
So to Ms. Lensing's point, then, we do have to revisit, because in order to capture, again, the culture and climate of a school, we need to capture all of those who are voluntarily leaving that school, whether it's within the district or out of the district. Again, I 100% agree that keeping somebody in the district is wonderful. Like these two parapros, they're going to show up as, resignations, and they are going to come back as teachers, I'm hoping, right? And that's great. And they may not be a position for them in the school that they're currently in, so they might have to go to another school. And that's a deeper dive to say it was no fault of that principal or the climate or the culture of that school, just it was a better opportunity for them. However, if we're seeing that there are a lot of teachers that are going on to into a voluntary transfer from a certain school, and we're not capturing that data to see that, these teachers want to stay within the district, they just don't want to work in that particular school, we need to be knowing why. Is it the climate and culture? Is it because they don't want to teach elementary, now they want to move to middle school, they're moving to administration, right? Those are all positives, but if there is a concern there, we should be looking at that in order to fix that climate of that school. And to Ms. Lensing's point, if it's not a concern and we're seeing it's because there's a certain principal that's creating leaders and all of these teachers are moving up to admin, or paras are moving up to teachers, again, we need to be celebrating those principals and figuring out what is it that they're doing in their school to promote that. How are they keeping their teachers off that voluntary transfer list, right? Like, what are they doing that is working so well, and share that throughout the district with other principals. But we can't capture that if we're doing it just this way. So I think I would like to see both.
Ms. Anna.
Okay, I want to know. I'm sorry. I want to know, out of the
84?
out of the 84 teachers or participants that were enrolled in the teacher vacancy grant program, how many of those are still in our district
After they've completed?
after they have completed the work? How many of them are still here? Because my point, if we're educating them and if we're paying based on my calculations, if we're paying upwards of $32,000 to educate these people and get them their certifications, are we benefiting from it?
Sure.
Or are they getting their credentials and going somewhere else? How many are still here?
Okay. Good evening, Board President, members of the Board, Superintendent, colleagues, and community. We do require all of our staff who sign up for this particular grant to sign a commitment letter to our district for 5 years beyond once they start the program. And so, to my knowledge, I can think of one person who has not been able to maintain that commitment due to significant personal things going on. I can get you the specific numbers. I don't want to speak from memory, but we have had all but one that I can know of.
So you're going to get the specific numbers?
Absolutely, ma'am. No problem.
Okay. Yeah, because we're spending a lot of money.
We are able to utilize grant funding for this, and we do require our staff to sign a commitment letter, so we do
Right.
put parameters in place.
And one other thing, this grant, this particular item, it said that we were in the
Final year.
the final year of the grant, right? And we're in year 3. So what were the numbers for the prior 2 years?
This is cumulative. This is all of our years. This is all of the data. Each year, when we present the data, I can do a side-by-side for you so you can see how the numbers have grown across all 3 years. The slide that was just shown shows the accumulation of all the participants over the past 3 years of the grant. So that
How much money did we get for the grant?
516,
Total.
516 for year 3, 700 for year 2, and I think 750 for year 1.
That's a lot of money.
It's an absolutely good return.
Well, and if they're still here.
And if they don't stay for the 5 years, then they do have to return.
There's depending on how long they stay. So if it's I'm going to make up general numbers for rounding
Prorated.
purposes.
Yeah.
$12,000 program. We asked them to complete the program within about 2 years to complete the endorsement. They had to stay for 3 years beyond that. If they, so that's about 12,000 divided by 3 is 4.
4,000.
So they would have to spend about $4,000 out of pocket for each year they leave early out of that 5-year commitment.
Yeah, so we would get the money back as
Correct. We have them sign an agreement for that purpose.
Would you please speak into the microphone?
You can ask it. So if they don't leave voluntarily is the question. So there is a teacher that gets a non-renewal or terminated. Would they have to pay back?
We have not faced that situation with any of the individuals in this program.
Which is great.
That's great.
Let's have a plan for it.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
I did a similar program. I did it was called Transition to Teaching. I know we had several teachers that went through that program as well. And I can tell you, I think all of us ended up just staying. I don't think anybody was terminated or left the program. For us, it was 3 years as well. It wasn't 5 years. I ended up here for 18. And a lot of others ended up for well more than the 3. Because you tend to stay where you also do your internships, right? And you have the support. You've learned how to teach along with the district that you're in. But I mean, we have to have a way to just track that and make sure that we have some sort of plan in the event that happens, I
Right.
guess. But I don't want to speak that into existence either.
I'm just going to highlight that you guys stay for so long because we have the best kid.
100%, 100%.
Okay, Mr. Moten, we kind of bounced around a bit with all the questions. We didn't let you complete the presentation. Would you like to highlight the key points, what you're going to present?
Amanda, meanwhile you're there. So every individual, I just want to be clear because I believe it's in here. We did bounce around. These are current employees that are working with us that applied to go through this program.
Correct.
Some of them are paras. Give us some examples of people. I know. Go ahead, I'll let you
Sure.
go.
On the last slide, we've had our first 2 paraprofessional graduates who have just completed their degree program this past December, January. And so Ms. Rosalind Hunter, who is a paraprofessional AOEC, just completed her teaching degree with a focus on special education. And Ms. Anita Tejada, who is a paraprofessional language liaison at Hyde Park Elementary School, has recently completed her degree. And Mr. Carr is eager to hire her for one of his anticipated vacancies coming up. So those are a couple of examples. We do have approximately 14 to 18, I don't have it memorized, other paraprofessionals who are in their first year of the program, and so we anticipate them graduating in the next year and a half.
And teachers, principals are very intentional also in recommending candidates or urging candidates to apply to be part of this program so that they can also build the prospects of teachers within their building.
If you don't mind going back one slide, Mr. White.
That's how I got in.
One more, I'm sorry. I don't remember what slide number it is, I apologize.
Mr.
Right here, we are anticipating that this grant will be renewed by the state of Illinois. The state superintendent has budgeted for this and the same amount of funding for this current year. And so in anticipation of that grant, we are doing informational sessions. We have released information in the superintendent bulletin the past 3 weeks. And we do have virtual sessions for paraprofessionals to sign up on April 21st and April 30th. Please, if you are a para and you are listening, please let us know how we can provide you that information. It is linked in the superintendent bulletin. If you attend, more information will be provided, and we walk you through the process to apply through those webinars.
And Mr. Moulton, I do recognize that the board president asked you if you wanted to highlight any points in here. My recommendation would be to hold it and bring it back with some of the considerations that our board members asked that if we can see in this, so that you're not presenting twice, and we can put it on for the next student achievement, even if it is only for information, because we do need to present on our diverse learners that Ms. Hannah asked about, and I committed to presenting on in May. Okay, but we will, when it comes up, you can still ask questions, etc. Okay.
And just a last point, for paraprofessionals and teachers looking to do a program like this, especially paras to become teachers, these programs are so important because they revolve around the fact that you're currently working in the education system, which is a huge barrier for a lot of paras, because finding classes that you can take while you're working, right, that align to your schedule. So I encourage all paras that, have the opportunity to jump at it, because it really is about removing all of those extra barriers, having, instructors come to them instead of them having to go out to a faraway university. Just all of those extra barriers that make it difficult for you to go to university while you're working and having a family. And I know that's why a lot of people kind of get scared and put it off. So I really, really encourage paras to go out and really listen to the information and hear how all of those barriers are
One thing
removed.
I might like to add to Ms. Fabian's comment is that it is meant to be a job-embedded apprenticeship model, and we have actually been able to partner with Lake County Workforce Development Board, and now the district has become eligible through apprenticeship funding, and so the district, in addition to the grant funding, is also receiving Lake County Workforce Development funding for our apprentices that are in the program. So we're really happy for that.
Ms. Lindsay.
Well, I was going to say, one, I want to apologize because sometimes we have the presentations and it's posted and we keep it moving. So that's why I was jumping all around. So thanks for being flexible with it. The other, with what you just said, Ms. Maluski, is that what I'm seeing on the back of the PACE buses about become a teacher in 1 year, or is that a separate?
I haven't seen that specifically, so I don't want to speak to that.
Okay, got it.
I know that
The
there are a lot of
University
opportunities
Center.
out there
Yeah,
through
the University
Center.
Okay, cool.
Things like that.
I was trying to make connections. That didn't happen.
Sorry.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Mr. Riddle.
Yeah, Ms. Maluski, can I just ask, do the teachers go to the University Center to get trained as well for this? Where do they actually, if they're a para and they're actually doing this is it a virtual class, or do they go to the University Center, or are the classes held here in Waukegan
No,
in the evening, or what?
Sure, thank you for the question. We do partner with Bloom Board to help us find colleges and universities that have this type of model of instruction. So the colleges are Lake Erie College and Oklahoma Christian University. They're all accredited, regionally accredited universities. It is a virtual model, but it is not completely asynchronous. There's a combination of synchronous and asynchronous learning. They have a significant amount of learning to do within the classroom setting. They have to produce lesson plans, artifacts, upload videos of themselves teaching. They have a mentor that's assigned to them. And so to get through the program, it's about 2.5 to 3 years, but it is a virtual model of instruction.
Okay. And that's working out okay? Just doing it as virtually, because I know some, possibly Ms. Fabian, but I know some other instructors that we hired in the district that were paras, and they went into a master's program, and they were actually having some classes virtually, but some of them were also meeting either in Waukegan at University Center or either Northern or wherever, occasionally.
Lots of different programs offer different styles and models of coursework. This particular one helps it be really flexible for the adults that have to work all day and then go to class at night. And so having it be virtual is it's a flexible model for our staff members to be able to participate in.
Okay.
And they lean very heavily on video artifacts. And so they get a lot of feedback, not only from their mentor classroom teacher, but they also get a lot of feedback from their instructors who watch them teach through video and provide them feedback on their lesson plans, their delivery, and their reflections on their lessons.
Okay. All right. Thank you much. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Maluski, and thank you for the
Mr.
feedback
Vukovic
and the
has-
questions. Oh, there's another question.
Just a follow-up, a clarification. When I brought up the death of one teacher, that was just something, when I was looking at that report tonight, sitting here, the first meeting I went to, it jumped out at me. I even looked, at all the different facts that are there. But you also brought up about giving kudos to principals because teachers go to their schools. What about the principals where they're fleeing from?
Oh, I gave both sides, sorry.
There's one principal that one year, I believe, 12 to 15 staff members left.
Which is why I asked us
That
to
person is
capture.
now on administrative leave. When are you going to do something with stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Sorry
you,
for
Mr.
interrupting you,
Vukovic.
Mr. Vukovic.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, and we will bring this back in May. All right, if we could go back to the agenda. Our next information item, item C, approval of facility rental waiver request for Centro Corporativo. I don't want to mispronounce that, but you all can see it on the agenda. The information is there for your review. Next agenda item, item D, Hyde Park Elementary Playground improvements.
So the only thing I want to highlight here is because we've had parents coming up about this, if we could respond to the parents, and somebody should have let them know that this was on the agenda, right? So if we could just have somebody follow up with the parents to let them know this was on the agenda and that it will be voted on the next time.
So, and just in response to that, so I did meet with them. They were not made aware that this was on the agenda this evening, but I did meet with them this evening, that it was on the agenda, and I'll also be meeting with them at the school tomorrow.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Great.
All right. Next agenda item, item E, Lewis Middle School main lobby, restroom, and locker room improvements. Information is there for you.
Wonderful. Well, good to see that one.
Item F, normally this is parking lot, but we put pedestrian here to make it clear this is actually not the parking area, this is the area by the playgrounds. So pedestrian pavement improvements at 4 elementary schools, Carmen Buckner, Greenwood, McCall, and Whittier.
Oh, sorry. I'll go, mine's really fast. I just want to extend my appreciation to the Whittier staff because right now they have a lot of construction going on in front of the building. So the staff having to manage around getting kids into and themselves into the building safely is not an easy task right now. So I just wanted to say, like, we really appreciate all you're doing to keep our kids safe. I know that's not directly this, but I just wanted to highlight that because I drive past it every day.
Thank you. And, question?
If you can just clarify for F, this is just the pedestrian pavement around and or near the playground areas?
Yes, if you go to the attachments, there is a site plan for each site that's highlighted. Yes, thank you, Mr. White. So here's an example on the screen. You'll see the white area. So it's the area between the school and the playground at these sites that we've identified. There is one site I would like to express to the board that's not included in this package, but it is currently under review, and that's Little Fort Elementary. But it's not on the agenda this evening because it's still under review. But there is a potential that one may be coming forward as well, based on recommendations.
Ms. Hannah.
Okay, McCall. Oh, I know McCall has been asking for a bus turnaround. Okay, and we're getting ready to spend $156,000 for whatever you guys are gonna do, sidewalks or something. Why wouldn't we invest in their turnaround that they have been asking for with this amount of money?
I can help you with that, Ms. Hannah. So one, I don't know what the amount is for the bus turnaround, so I can't speak to that right now. And there's limited money. So what this is directly impacting is student recess, where kids go outside and play. In many of our schools, the gravel or the blacktop is so.
Well, their playground
Excuse
is
me.
on. Their playground is on in the Marsh area. They
Yeah.
have a playground area.
Yeah, and so does Carmen Buckner and Greenwood, but there's blacktop where they play hopscotch or, they play ball out there that is so, it's just worn out over time and just the blacktop needs to be replaced. So these are the areas we're talking about. I'm going to ask Lauren to hold on that because I don't know the amount of that. We may not even be able to afford that this year. So I don't remember
Well,
that price tag, but we will go back and look.
I think that if we are student focused and it is about safety of the students, and because if you know McCall parking lot where the buses go, the buses are the same place where the cars are parked for the staff, for parents bringing in students. And I know this factually because my kids went there. And we've been talking about a turnaround over there for that long. My grandkids are now in high school.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not needed. I'm just saying, give me time to look at it. I don't know the dollar amounts. I don't know where it is on the, I don't want to say priority list, but our capital improvement list. So there's a lot that goes into it. So we'll circle back on that.
Yeah, because we should be having a capital improvement meeting soon, right? Oh, okay.
Ms. Fabian.
But I want to acknowledge this, the student safety, right? So this is where students are playing.
Yeah.
So although it's not what you're requesting, it is focused on student safety because as they're out there, especially Carmen Buckner, it's horrible. Like you can break an ankle just walking around.
I get it. I'm specifically,
Yeah.
I'm specifically talking about
Yeah, McCall.
McCall and that turnaround
Yeah.
that they've been asking.
Yep, we'll look at it. There's a lot of ask out there. We'll look at that. We'll come back with that and just see where that fits on the capital improvement list.
I bet you
Okay.
they would want turnaround because their playground area safe. And
Yeah,
they
we-
would probably want their turnaround before they wanted that.
Yeah. Well, we're looking at where we can invest that hits the maximum amount of students, right? And so we know that all students go out for recess and utilize that area. And like I said, it's not diminishing one need from another. But as we are making these decisions around what we do for the upcoming school year, we're looking at how we maximize to touch as many students as possible within the school. So we will come back with that.
And have you consulted with the principal? Or is this just an administrative
Everything,
decision?
so we look, there's a capital improvement plan, and we look at what's at need. So it could even be that there may be another school that may need a turnaround. I mean, there's more to that. So can you please allow me to bring that back to you?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Milton.
All right, thank you. The next three items, G, H, and I, are transportation related. This is for PACE renewal for next school year.
I'm going to jump in on PACE. So I think we've had this discussion before. I've been involved in discussions around this before with the PACE schedule. And there have been concerns about it aligning with our class schedules at our 3 high school campuses. The biggest concern that I've heard recently, again, by attending an ed camp session, is on Mondays, it is a late start so that the teachers get their necessary time for building meetings, team meetings, in the contract, all of that. But many of our students are not coming to class, and I've heard directly from parents on this too, because there's no access to transportation to get them there. So I'm wondering, like, I get we can't change PACE's schedule, but if we're going to continue using the service, we need to have a better plan around those late start dates for our older students.
I had brought this concern up as a parent, and I know that they did try something as far as utilizing the yellow buses. So I don't know if Alicia wants to speak to that, because I know I had addressed
Like, was
that.
it successful?
Right,
or-
that's what
Okay.
if she can. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
But we appreciate your knowledge.
A few years ago, we ran our district bus drivers to replicate the PACE schedule for late starts, and we didn't get a lot of students to board the bus. And then
Okay.
we also had PACE show the students during orientation that the bus may not pull into Brookside, but you can catch the bus, say, on Macquarie and Brookside. So it's not coming into campus, but there are bus stops in their area that the students can take a bus to and walk to school.
Okay.
So they didn't, transportation is not eliminated for them. It's just options that they have that they didn't choose to take.
Okay, so I think, because I don't know how aware parents are of this. So from what I'm understanding, that's currently the case, is that there is a bus stop less than a mile away that drops them off less than a mile away from school. And I'm using a mile because that's like our determination for the, it's really a mile and a half. I know it's a mile and a half. I know it's a mile and a
It's
half.
a mile and a half, and I don't have that answer to say that this bus stop is this distance, so they can go on the website and look, put their address in, and it will route their route to school. And PACE has a great app now that the students can use to help them navigate the system to get to school.
So what I'm hearing is it's a communication issue of available options.
Yes, and that's done during orientation.
Yes, and I think we need, especially if we want our chronic absentee rates to go low, if we want our freshmen on track and our graduation rates to be higher, I think we need to have a targeted effort, because the parents and staff that I was talking to, they were not aware of this.
So during orientation, when
Yeah.
they get their PACE passes, PACE representatives are there to ask questions, and all their schedules are presented as well. So the opportunity is there if they go to the school and get the pass.
But
And they can call.
I think
as
we're
well.
saying we need to also push out
Expand.
the information because we know that not all families go to that orientation, right? And even when they go, it might not be something they consider because late start would be on a Monday at the high school would be new for them, so they wouldn't know to ask that up front. So I think what we're saying is front load the information to them instead of expecting them to ask.
Okay,
I
will come up with a communication plan for.
I could jump in. I already
A couple times throughout.
I already wrote down, look at a communication plan, so I'll work with Nick and transportation on that. I wrote that
Thank
down
you
in my
very
notes.
much.
And then the other issue is AOEC's schedule is completely different from the high schools. And so even that, like, they get out different late, early starts and all of that. And then they also have, you know, those that come in later and stay till 5. So there's also a lack of transportation there. So I don't know if when we're looking at these other Illinois Central and Lakeside, if there's a way to support those students as well, and especially on those days when we're having like the PSATs or all of that, or I guess we do ACT now, where they're being released early, that we have some kind of support, especially for the students at AOEC whose schedule doesn't always align with the other high school campuses.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Moulton?
All right, thank you. And again, we have 2 additional transportation-related items here for you. Illinois Central for next school year, as well as Lakeside, which we did add a note here that Lakeside Transportation was acquired by First Student in March last month. However, there's not been any contractual changes. And for that renewal, that was previously negotiated when we awarded the bid for them at 3%. All right, our next information item is adoption of resolution for the retailer's occupation tax, as well as item K is associated with that.
Mr. Riddle.
Mr. Moulton, when this was presented to us some weeks ago or last month, I guess, we heard that this. I was supportive of the idea, and I felt that the 1% tax, retail tax, would be a way for this district to get some extra money without raising, in fact, all through the county, without raising real estate, which everybody doesn't like. And it would be fair because it would be based on students. However, I heard at the time that it was not going to apply for certain things like services. But when I read the resolution, it says it's a retail occupation tax and a service occupation tax. So have they now decided that the tax will apply to services in the district? Like I'm thinking restaurants, any kind of service. You take your car in to get the mechanic to fix it. Is the tax going to be on the labor as well as the product that he puts in your car? Has that changed? That's what I'm asking.
I'm going to ask Ms. Polk to address that. Thank you.
Board President, Superintendent, rest of the board members and community. I'm reluctant to really speak to the specifics of that because we're under advisement of our bond counsel, Elizabeth Hennessy, as well as legal representation from that office. And so I'll certainly get that answer and bring it back to you through the superintendent.
Okay.
I'm wondering, Ms. Polk, if we have Ms. Hennessy come back out so the board can ask those questions, because I think it's imperative for the public to hear some of those answers.
Absolutely.
I also know that many school districts in Lake County are taking their vote for the resolution, and I don't even know, I don't know where we're at on that, but I know there's other ones that have already taken their vote and have moved that forward. So can you work on getting Ms. Hennessy back? Because those
Absolutely.
questions are important for the public to know.
Absolutely, yes.
Right, right.
Good.
You can go first. You can go first.
Mr. Vukovic.
Okay.
All right, I was not at the meeting when it was brought up about a month ago, but I did read the newspaper article about it, and Ms. Fabian had mentioned about the impact here in Waukegan, and you referenced 8.5% that it would go to.
9.5.
9.5, because it is actually, if you go out for a pizza or a burger or a drink, it's currently 9.5.
Yeah, for
Because the
fast
city of
food
Waukegan
services.
has an additional 1%. So if this were to pass, food and beverage in Waukegan would have a 10.5% sales tax rate. Now, this is a referendum. With the exception of Miss Hannah, none of you up there have ever had any experience with passing a referendum. You know, in my history, I've had, in the last 40 years, I've been involved in 5 different referendums for this district. 2 were unsuccessful, 3 were successful. The last successful one was 24 years ago, and it passed with 69% of the voters in Waukegan had to sell it to the community. And selling it to the community is when members of the public come here and ask questions, they should get answers. They should be offered a little bit of respect. That doesn't happen to a lot of people. They don't feel that way. The folks that came here talking about their students at graduation, they need to be embraced. Those are the people that have the opportunity to vote. Now, my understanding is that Waukegan would get a higher percentage because it's based on our student population, which is good, but it will not help us necessarily when it comes time for voting, because other districts may look at that and say, hey, we're not going to benefit. Waukegan is about 7% of the county voting population. So you not only have to get people like me on board, but you've got to be able to get the rest of Lake County to see what you're going to use it for. You've got to have a specific plan, and you have to lay it out, and then you've got to say what you're going to do if it doesn't happen.
My vote's gymnasiums.
If I may respond, the resolution was intentional that we included here tonight, because we said that we would seek, I think we had 3 options there. I worked with Elizabeth to do that. One was to possibly reduce the debt that we have in the district, which would also reduce the liability to our homeowners, of which I am one of them, and also so that we would possibly not levy as much. So we had plans with the $14 million, as you all know. The district has an enormous amount of capital improvement needs, life safety pending needs that are coming up. And so with the limited resources that we have, not because of us, but because of what is happening across the country, this is an opportunity for us to be able to enhance the learning environments for our students, because that's a priority for the Board of Education, and it has been expressed by some of the community members as well, that we need to enhance our schools. So we're not only presenting tonight the resolution to do the sales tax, but we also have a resolution in here for how to use it. So both of those things should be looked at jointly.
Ms. Belk, can you also talk about that this endeavor is a Lake County endeavor? It is not just a Waukegan Public School endeavor, that the ROE is working very diligently with the districts. And so in regards to Mr. Vukovic, that marketing and all that work that goes into all that is going to be an organized effort with the Lake County, I'm going to say the Lake County Division, for lack of a better word.
Absolutely. I mean, you said it well. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's not just Waukegan. Waukegan is going to be a part of the larger group. And I want to say, I personally have the utmost respect for you, Mr. Vukovich, but of course, in alignment with the superintendent and the Board of Education, I would be amiss if I wouldn't say that this is something that the district really needs in order to address some of our needs. And so, of course, we respect the opinions of other stakeholders, but I think that it's important that we advocate for these monies. $14 million approximately that we would be entitled to is an enormous amount of money. And we know that we've briefed and possibly going to brief tonight, but it's included in the packet, that we've let over $40 million go in taxes. I mean, we've done that because we've kept the taxes level. And that's money that we will never get back. And it just grows every year. It doesn't go away because we lost that tax base. I mean, I've learned a lot from you on that. So you know that when we're presenting this, it is factual. It is not a myth. So in light of that, I mean, seeking this $14 million is not far-fetched, in my opinion.
Okay, we have a lot of hands up. We have Ms. Fabian, Ms. Lenzing, Mr. Riddle, and Ms. Hannah all wanted to speak. Let's do it in that order.
So to Mr. Vukovich's point, we do have to get the community rallied around this. For me, it's about transparency, and if we do get Ms. Hennessy back, the phrase that she used was that 50% of the people that are paying this tax are outside Lake County. While that may be true, 100% of Waukeganites are going to be paying that tax. And so I think it's disingenuous to not state that, right? So if you want people to buy in, you have to give them all of the facts and let them know that this will 100% impact them. That being said, I think it also helps to put into context the numbers that we're talking about, right? So for every $10,000 that a household spends, it's an extra $100. That 1% isn't as great of an increase, or may not be as great of an increase as we may picture it to be. What for me, it's jumping all the way up to the 9.5 and the 10.5 when, we are one of the populations that are in a higher needs, but we have the highest taxes. One of the highest taxes, because I think there's a couple of other cities in Lake County that also are up there, right? But we have one of the highest taxes already. And so, again, I just want to make sure that we're completely transparent, because you're not going to get the vote if people feel like you're being disingenuous or you're leading them astray, right? So I would just like to see that presentation come back a little bit more clear to really highlight that, no, it impacts all of us here in Waukegan. However, this is going to be what the impact looks like. And that we do acknowledge that we are one of those higher tax spaces, and have that conversation of, however, we've kept your real estate tax low, and this is what we propose to do with that money. I also want to understand is, I know that we're going to be working with Lake County Row or the division in order to promote this, but also how much funding is it going to require from our district in order to also promote this on our behalf?
Yeah, that's fair.
Thank you. Lindsay.
I know there was alarm with the service component tax, but it's the service occupation, and the quick Google search, I'm not the expert, will let her come back and explain it a bit. It's not on the service itself that is taxed, but it's the cost of the goods in the exchange. So I will get the definitive legal proper response, but I just didn't want anyone to be like jumping to conclusions with that. So it's more nuanced than just a service tax.
Thank you. Mr. Riddle.
Yes. And Ms. Polk, I want to reemphasize what you said. There's two resolutions here that we're going to vote on, I presume, at the next board meeting.
Hopefully.
And hopefully, because this has to get on the November ballot, and yes, we have to do some advertising, but it is being promulgated by the department, the ROE, the Regional Office of Education. And talking to some others, because I was talking to some folks that I know in Lake Bluff and Lake Forest, and I figured right away, they're not going to support something like this. And they said, no. They said, we would support something like this. And it surprised me. And I said, why? Because they said it's county-wide, and it's not raising our property taxes. Sales tax, we have more money to spend on sales. We're going to probably end up spending more money than, some of Waukegan people because we have more money to spend. We all pay this tax on real estate. And this wouldn't apply, I told them it was not going to apply to food and drugs and what we were told previously. So, and then the other part that I liked was the second resolution here. You're actually telling the public how we're going to use this money, that it's going to be used to reduce the real estate taxes for our people in Waukegan, because we will not have to raise real estate tax to operate our schools as much. If we don't get this, we're going to end up, where do our schools get most of the money? A lot of it comes from real estate taxes, and everybody knows that. In Illinois, we spend a huge amount of real estate money for our schools. This is a different kind of tax. So I think we have a lot of advertising to do, a lot of clarification, but I think I do support this because it is a very justified. It helps all of the children in the whole of the county, and the tax is shared. There's no other tax like this that's shared among the entire county. We all shop in Gurnee because there's a lot of stores there. We buy things from Gurnee, but we don't get that sales tax. It stays in Gurnee.
Absolutely.
So this is a justification, and the fellows I was talking to, like I said, I talked to a family in Lake Bluff. They said we were onto this right away. They said, yeah, you guys don't get the share, and they said that casino out there, helps the school district in Park City in Gurnee, but it doesn't help Waukegan.
Yes.
They were surprised about that. So yeah, this is a justifiable tax to help all students in our county, and remember, Lake County I believe is still the second wealthiest county in the nation. So there's a lot of money spent. And I remember when we had the presentation, there's a lot of money that comes into Lake County that is not from people that live here at all. They come into Lake County, they shop here, they buy cars, they buy, things at Great America, and they spend a lot of money. This helps our kids all around Lake County. And I believe Ms. Hennessy said that was a huge amount of money that they figure comes from outside of Lake County. So this is a way for us in Waukegan to tap into that money. I think we have a lot of selling to do to justify this, but certainly just putting it up, I think I'm going to encourage the board to really consider this and vote on it, because it's not going to pass until the voters, but we at least have to get it up there.
Absolutely.
We have to get the ROE and we're asking, the regional office superintendent to certify this, to get it up on the ballot. So it's important. We're not proposing the tax. We're helping to get it up there as a resolution. It's the public that's going to decide. And if we advertise it well enough and they understand it, they'll vote for it because it's fair. It's fair to all students.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah.
Hey, I am, as Mr. Vukovic said, that I'm one of the only ones that was on the board when we did that referendum before. It was very difficult. Anyway, what I want to say, I didn't, as I was reading this, it came to me about that, how this 1% is going to impact business, okay? And we are forgetting that the businesses, and I'm just going to say this one thing, because I got about 5 or 6 points here, but I'm going to wait for Ms. Hennessy.
Thank you very much.
Okay, but yes. I do want to say this though, because many of the businesses are dealing with now the minimum wage increase. Okay, they're going to be they're going to raise their prices because of this 1%, okay, on their goods and products, and they're going to lose revenue, okay? And so that's just one of the things. But generally, people are about tired of taxes. Keep on raising taxes, we gonna have not a Boston Tea Party, we gonna have a Waukegan Tea Party. People are tired. We're burdened with taxes, high gas price, all this stuff going up, and we're what people consider the government, and we're part of the government. We're just raising taxes. I understand the need, okay? We had a healthy balance of money to work from. Where is that? It's gone. That's what we need to be dealing with. I'm done.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah.
Should I respond?
No, you don't have to.
I would like you to respond, but I just want clarification, and I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it. If the board votes in favor of the resolution, the taxpayers still have to vote to say
Still
yes.
has to go to vote, yes.
Is that correct?
That
I
is
just want to
correct.
say that.
Still has
So
to go to
just
vote.
because we vote on the resolution doesn't mean it automatically passes.
Right.
Stakeholders have to say yes and agree to it. Okay, and now, can you please?
Yes. The one thing that I want to say is, in the presentation that we have tonight about the state of the finances, we are not broke. I don't want to say that we are. We have more money now than we had years ago when it was a major concern. I will say,
So our reserve still,
we don't have $34 million across 9 funds. We have more. That's
so we are not in deficit, Mrs. Polk.
okay. So let me answer that question. We do deficit spend in the current year. That's something that I've said for years, right? But we're not deficit spending with the fund balances that are carried over. Our concern, and what the superintendent has expressed, and why we started looking at spending in the last couple of months, is because we want to make sure that spending is prioritized. Because we've been talking about, just give me an opportunity, Ms. Hannah. We've been talking about the cliff. We've been talking about the ESSER cliff. Waukegan is not the only one who's talking about the ESSER cliff. School districts, businesses across the country, they've been talking about that. And so I think that the strategies that the district is implementing and taking proactive measures to ensure that we remain solvent is what is needed for us to remain in a good fiscal state. And this public, financial documents are there. You can see that right now we have about $78 million in the bank. That's not $34 million, right?
Right.
And we haven't gotten our tax payments, which are huge payments, in the month of June. We're in that limbo period where we're waiting on those. So we're hopeful that we're going to end the year overall, right? Somewhere about 80 or 90 million. It's not where we were. It's not where we were at 120, when we had this influx of ESSER money, but we're not at 34. That's why I'm cautious about saying that, we're broke. We're not broke. We're just cautious. We have to be.
Thank you, Ms. Polk.
I never said we were broke.
Okay,
I never said that.
okay.
But when Ms. Hennessy is here, I'm gonna ask the real question. Real answer.
About what? About the taxes?
Deficit spending?
Okay.
So we will bring back Ms. Hennessy. The resolution is there for you all to read through them. There's a lot of information there. I know Lake County, Emerald would really like our support on this to see where this could go. And in lieu of what is going on in our nation and thinking outside of the box on how we can obtain more funding, as funding is, in some senses, being removed at the federal level, and which impacts the state level and the monies that we can get there. We do need to think outside of the box, but of course, once again, we're bringing something to you, and it will be your ultimate decision. We're 10 minutes to 10, LeBaron, so if you want to go through these rest of things, I think they're all information, and I hear that it's raining tremendously outside. I don't know if that's true. I'm thinking of the safety of our staff on their way home and our stakeholders that are still with us, so.
Yeah, no, thank you, Superintendent, and thank you, Ms. Polk. Our last 4 items are reports, as Ms. Polk alluded to. One is a district financial update. The information is there for your review, as well as our standard financial reports.
Okay, thank you. And with that, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Riddle, second by Ms.
Fabian.
Fabian. Ms. Fabian?
Fabian.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 9:49.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.